and say a few words, not amounting to a speech, and invite His Excellency to give us the keynote speech of the day. Thank you.
Your Excellency, President William Ruto, Your Excellency, First Lady, let me start by saying that I am not the one who took Chepkonga's slot for pupillage. Other than that, what Speaker Wetangula said is correct. I once worked in his law firm many years ago. Your Excellency, allow me to say the following. First is to thank all those leaders who came together to start this wonderful national practice of a National Prayer Day and National Prayer Breakfast. I grew up in a family of a Methodist cleric, and there was some little message in our living room, which was in Swahili. And I've seen in many Christian homes a similar, especially while we were growing up. I don't know whether it's the same today. So there was a small thing in our living room hung up there to the effect that a family that prays together stays together. For a nation, I believe equally, just like a family, a nation that prays together will stay together. There is hope for Kenya. Number two, Your Excellency, I also want to say that this event helps us to reflect on our common destiny and take stock. And I believe it's the practice in many other countries that have a similar tradition. It's good to take stock of our journey as a nation so that we can look at what we've done well, maybe what we have not done so well, and from the scriptures and the sharing and the songs and the prayers which have been made here, we have had good moments and maybe other moments which we would have done better. And that is a good thing also, Your Excellency, because Socrates, one of the greatest philosophers, did say that a life unexamined is not worth living. It is good to examine ourselves at every point, reflect, and take stock, so that we are not on one continuous journey making good speed, but without the reflection to help us understand whether we are doing things right. And many times when we reflect, we'll find areas to correct, improve, and make the journey ahead even better. I say so because, Your Excellency, a story is told of a pilot who announced to his passengers that, ladies and gentlemen, we are making very good time. We are cruising at very good speed. But the good news ends there. The bad news is that we've lost all our instrumentation and we are not sure where we are going. So if we do not have time like this to reflect on our country's journey, we may miss one or two things there, and just like this pilot, be making good progress, but we are not sure that we are making progress to our destination. Your Excellency, allow me also again to say that we have heard the sermon, and I totally agree with the preacher of the day about the need to build relationships with each other, those who are afar, those who are near, our men and women, this generation, the other generation. And I agree, it's not only godly, but that is the most cost-effective way to handle our affairs. Your Excellency, while we are at that relation-building process, I am very happy to see today here our brothers and sisters from our neighboring countries within the East African community, and even the prayers that were made here for the continent, for the East African region, for Kenya, and for the world. And looking at the choir here, of course, the choir is much improved from last year's performance. Osoro and company, pongezi. I think there is greater harmony and greater melody than last year. Last year was a bit chaotic. But Your Excellency, I say that we need to work on these relationships continuously, and looking at what was presented here, especially with our most immediate neighbors, Tanzania, Uganda, is a good thing. And I hope some of the exchanges we've seen from our political leaders between our countries, we must use a moment like this to arrest those situations, because it doesn't look tidy when brothers and neighbors are talking at each other. We must build good relationships and sustain them. Your Excellency, in the same manner, we need to build relationships across generations. The older people who are the age of our fathers, the parents of today, the younger adults who are starting their families, the young children, and even the unborn. That intergenerational friendship and solidarity is important. No one generation is superior or more important than the other. So I agree with the message of today's speaker, who is quite inspirational, that perhaps as older people, we need to treat our children who are now adults a little more respectfully, listen to them, and where we go wrong, there's no harm in acknowledging that we've not treated them maybe the way they expected us. However, equally, we respectfully request our children also to respect authority, and also agree to be mentored and supported, so that mutually, even as we respect them, hear them, apologize when we are wrong, they should equally respect older people, even if not for any other reason, simply because they are older, because there are things that you will not learn in any college. You will only learn them in the school of life. Your Excellency, therefore, as much as we agree with the need for us to reconcile and build relationship with our children, we respectively request our children also to realize that there is a role we can play, not necessarily in terms of science and all the beautiful things they know from the internet, but a few tips here and there that could make their otherwise powerful lives even more powerful going forward. Your Excellency, I want to stop there, and I want to say that National Prayer Breakfast is a good tradition. It's a place to soberly look at the progress we've made as a country and acknowledge the strides we have made and also the challenges we are facing as a nation. And when we go back to prayer, we will find the solutions to our national problem, undoubtedly. I want to end by illustrating that point with the story of a Christian boy who got lost while playing in the neighborhood. And when he got lost, he was found by an adult. But he could not remember exactly where their house was. But his father was a cleric, was a pastor. And they lived next to a church. And there was a big cross on top of the church next to the home of this little boy who had gotten lost. And so when the adult asked this boy, "How do I help you, son? How do I get you back home?" The little boy could not remember the name of the street, could not remember the corner next to their home, but he remembered that their home is next to a church and there's a cross on the church. And so he said, "If you take me near the cross, I will find my way home." Likewise, this breakfast, as much as we return here every year, it will bring us back to our destiny and redirect our nation to where it is supposed to end. I want to thank all of us. I was warned not to make a speech. I have ended up making one.